So, Bumblebee. It's alright. No, it's not. Oh, I don't know. The kids in the audience seem to like it. They seem to enjoy it a lot more than I think they would enjoy your average Michael Bay Transformers movie. Which is odd because this had by far fewer action scenes and by far fewer Transformers in it. Is it any good? I don't know. It was palatable, in maybe because it reminded me of being in the 80s and going to see films like Short Circuit or Inner Space, where you know you're not going to get anything really nutritious, but there is the sense that you're in the hands of a movie that's going to have a distinct beginning, middle and end, and flow digestibly. It's got a story and some characters, which alone is enough to elevate it some leagues above the other movies in the franchise. But why a Camaro? I don't like that. I like the Volkswagen Beetle. You know, that's Bumblebee to me. Having him upgrade in the end is a bit like the end of Breakfast Club when they turn Ali Sheedy into a prom queen. Because, of course, the most important thing is that Emilio Estevez swipes right. Wrong lesson, kids. Bumblebee he's a beetle. That's it. You know, it's part of his charm, and don't. So, Glass. M. Night Shyamalan. What do you want? What do you want? What are you doing? Why are you making films? When you should be doing spiritually themed corporate motivational videos or something like that. What am I supposed to take from Glass? Are there themes? Are you trying to draw the audience's attention to something, I don't know, mystical or profound? I would like to try and give the author some credit, but he's making it extremely difficult. The movie says a lot about M. Night Shyamalan's relationship with comic books, but it doesn't really say anything about the larger part of the audience's relationship with it. And that's a big problem if you're trying to export myths. And it's a big problem that we're not that interested in what M. Night Shyamalan wants to say about comic book heroes, because he packs so much of it into a movie that really should be about delivering what the audience wants. In this case, it's basically for Bruce Willis, Samuel L. Jackson, and James McAvoy to duke it out using wits, fists, and maybe some supernatural stuff on top. That's what the audience wants. We don't want to hear about M. Night Shyamalan's spurious philosophy. We don't want to hear him go round the houses by way of the Twilight Zone in order to deliver us some message about believing in yourself. Really? So once again, this filmmaker has shat on 2+ hours of my life and my patience. And it also leaves you with something that's a bit icky, which is, I don't want to spoil it for anyone that's going to go and see it, although don't see this movie. At the end of the movie, there's a sequence in which Samuel L. Jackson's Mr. Glass, the bad guy, the villain, is vindicated somewhat. And there's a triumphal note about this, as if to say all the previous disasters were worth it because they were in pursuit of the artist's vision. Well, I definitely suffered in the pursuit of this artist's vision. So, on to a movie that really does know something about superheroes. Spider-Man Enter the Spiderverse from Sony Animations. Yeah. This is a great movie. It's just a great movie. It's entirely engrossing, visually stunning, funny, accessible, but big in scope. This is epic. What we're introduced to here is a slightly new angle on the Spider-Man mythos. Now, superheroes as a concept have lasted a really long time. You'd think, well, that's because they channel very primal stuff, you know, masks, symbols of power, that kind of thing. And there's a myth going on here which has to do with that, but is a slight tangent. And it's the idea of an internal adversary, so an evil or an adjutant inside yourself, as represented by the animal, as represented by the spider. What's interesting about this origin story, and it is an origins story, is that the spider that infects Miles Morales is visually distinctive. Our attention is drawn to it as a character, and it represents the idea that there's a spider for all of us, an animal or a thing that presents an adversity particular to our individual selves. It's more than just a case of that which does not kill you. This is something that is bound up with your identity and the problems that your identity is having coming into the world and doing good stuff. And everybody's spider is different. So Into the Spiderverse does two things that a really good comic book movie should do. It covers the broad, garish canvas of pop art, and it offers us an angle on the deep-rooted myths that allow comic book characters to maintain an audience. We don't always know why it is that we're interested in them. Very few filmmakers seem to know either why it is that we're interested in them. But sometimes filmmakers really hit the nail on the head. Richard Donner with his pure Superman, Hugh Jackman with his haggard old Logan longing for redemption, and this film which presents us with characters that have to transmute the poison. You have to befriend the monster and turn it into your familiar, and as a consequence help others to do something similar, thus facilitating heroes. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you like the new setup. I'm Richard Eve. Oh look, toys.